welcome to another mini mindset mastermind class. No, masterclass. Don't know where mastermind came from. I'm not in the big black chair. Don't think I'd get many points if I were. But yes, the mini mindset masterclass on a Monday. I mean, it's a mouthful. I have to sort of warm up before I even introduce what we're doing today. So today I wanted to talk about validation and recognition. And I want us to look at the sort of relevance of it, the importance of it, who has it. So one of the things when I talk to people about what's their vision, what are they trying to achieve, which has to be the starting place for anything that we're planning. And lots of people share, their hope of winning a BAFTA or an Oscar or an Olivier or a Tony or whatever. And been there, absolutely been there. That was one of my kind of hopes as well. Because for us, it feels like that would be the proof that we have reached a certain level of excellence and that we are respected within the industry. So those seem like really acceptable things to want. Yeah, if you're a sportsman, you want to win the gold medal. You want to know you're the fastest or you can jump the highest or whatever. But I guess there's just a couple of things that are problematic about it that I want us to unpack. So one of them is that kind of obvious thing where if anyone looked at the BAFTA voting, I think it was the last time, not this most recent one, but I think there was Line of Duty was up against Killing Eve, and I was like, how do you vote that between those two? So my point with that being is that you could be in an amazing show, you could be an amazing actor, you could be respected in the industry and still for some reason just not get a BAFTA. I mean, there are harder years and there are easier years, right? So if we pin all our beliefs about our ability or our respect within the industry on getting that award, in a way we sort of shift our power out to someone else and we could get a false reading. Yeah, if you're running a race, it's a little bit more black and white. The fastest person in that race runs it. But equally, if you look at people as they train to do that race, the fastest person might have an injury the week before and not even get a chance to run. So there's still not even the absolute sort of mathematical clarity of who's the fastest by winning a gold or so forth. It's just in that specific moment. So there's a kind of a danger in assuming that that feedback means something. And it's not to say that if you win an award, it doesn't mean you're respected by the industry and you've reached a level of excellence. I think it does mean that. But the absence of awards doesn't mean the opposite. Does that make sense? It's like if you ever watch anything like The X Factor and you see someone really brilliant who doesn't win. The winning doesn't mean that you weren't at the level that you want to be at. So I guess when we look under that sort of need for, not needful, but like hope for, and still have the hope and the want and the wish. But I guess when it becomes a need, we want to just look underneath that and go, what is that about? And if it's about needing to believe you've got a level of excellence and recognition, we want to make sure that you can also find it another way, because it may just be that year there isn't, like I say, the BAFTAs, there's too many amazing people. So it can't mean that some of you aren't amazing. So there's underneath the desire for those awards is actually a desire for validation and recognition. Like I said, respecting the industry, knowing that you've got to a level of excellence, all good things. But underneath that also what validation is truly about is believing that you matter, that what you're doing matters, that people see you and people hear you. And like I say, we're in a very difficult industry because it's the arts. So there is no black and white, someone's good and someone's bad. You can't tell that in quite the same kind of way as you can see other talents, because a lot of it's subjective. This is the nature of art. And some people will value one person and someone another, and it's quite hard to argue who's good and who's not. So how do we feel good when we're in an industry where you can't really tell? And so one of it is to look for these awards. That would be a way of proving, that would be a way of telling. And I guess what I want to really encourage you to do is just unpack that enough to know that you could not win an award and still be excellent, but also to look for ways where you can self-validate, and that just stops us going out to the industry in too much of a needy way, by which I mean going to the industry feeling less, giving the industry a lot of power. I won't feel seen and heard. I won't believe I'm a good actor unless the industry behaves in this way or the industry does this. And I want you to just reclaim some of that power for yourself. Because certainly, as far as I'm concerned, there usually comes a point at which you know that you're good. You know when you've been in the moment, in the truth, in the character, and you know when you've not. I've done shows where other people have thought it has gone well, and I've like, no, it hasn't. And obviously, they're allowed their own perspective on it. But my perspective as a performer of X number of years' experience will be different to theirs, and my standard for myself will be different from theirs. And they might be happy just being entertained, but I want to stand in the truth of the character and in the moment be present. And I know, because I'm in my body, whether I'm doing that or not. So I guess I just want you to start thinking about validation and how you self-validate. So if validation is about, which it is, a sense of worth, a sense of a purpose, that what you're doing is seen, it's heard, and it's mattered. How do we do that for ourselves? When we can start to learn to self-validate, then great if we win an award, and great if other people think it's good, but we don't need it. Yeah, we're not, being held ransom by that. And that's what hey Andrew, Shah, that's what my brother calls me when he wants something. I'll accept Charlie, or Charlotte. Loads of people know me as Charlie. But yeah, Shah, that's pushing it, Andrew, that's pushing it. No, yeah, so we want to learn to self-validate. So yeah, doesn't mean to say that we don't still want industry respect, doesn't mean to say we don't still want awards, doesn't mean to say we don't want to know that we've achieved a level of excellence. It's just about saying wanting is different to needing. So how do we feel our own self-worth? And a lot of that is about the self-talk, which we've talked about in affirmations, the things you say to yourself, appreciating yourself, acknowledging your successes, acknowledging the things you do, all the values that you have. See yourself, hear yourself. Those will satisfy some core needs. And so what do I mean by that? It's things like, I talk a lot about that when we verbally acknowledge our own successes, we then feel successful and therefore generate more success, because we tend to generate behaviors that match who we think we are. So if we say out loud our successes, we feel we are successful, that's who we identify with, and then we behave like a successful person, that brings in more success. It's like the success loop. Okay, and often what we get stuck into is we feel frustrated, and then we start to go, oh, I can't get it right, and what's happening, and we get in a negative loop. So I want you to start acknowledging your successes, but also acknowledging your self-worth, acknowledging that you have a value, whether you win a BAFTA or not, whether you get an Oscar or not. If we look at some of the artists, if we go out of the theatre field, out of stage acting or screen acting, sometimes artists weren't recognised in their own time. Yes, sometimes artists that were really stretching boundaries, the people at the time didn't get what they were doing at all. So we can't put all our artistic sense of who we are out on what other people say about what they think about what we do. So the validation piece is also connected to what other people think. And so I guess more and more I want you to get concerned about, what do you think about what you're doing? What's your opinion? That has to first and foremost be the most important, because you're the actor, you're the one in the scene, in your body. So it doesn't mean to say we can't get good, doesn't mean to say we don't want respect, but it's really important that you bring it in here, that you learn to self-validate. So when we go and we set ourselves a goal and we go and achieve it, and then we say, yeah, I did that. And that goal could be small. Yeah, that goal could be to write to someone, or pick up the phone to somebody, or to learn to improve a skill set that might help our acting, or a skill set we're doing for another reason. When we then achieve that, we're like, oh, yeah, I did that. And you acknowledge yourself. You validate yourself. Okay? And then it just puts you on just a little bit more of an even keel. So absolutely go for that BAFTA, create the vision board, or the Oscar, or whatever it is. Like, a friend of mine gave me one of those sort of, you can get those sort of plastic Oscars. Great fun to just start kind of playing with the visualization of it. Absolutely, why not? But just also understand, A, to self-validate, and B, you could be amazing and still not win an award. So don't tie them together too rigidly. Keep it a little bit fluid. And yeah, back to that playful spirit. Whenever we're in the playful space, when we can hold things lightly, you're on track. When everything starts to become heavy and a bit tense, and I need this and that, unless someone gives me an award, I won't know I'm good, is to give all your power away. So bring it back, bring back the power to yourself. And by power, I mean in the really most positive sense of the word. We all have an inner sense of power. And to not be acknowledging of that is to give our power away, which is actually more dangerous than just to hold that we have a level of power. So go, and there's a coach who talks about, you might write a to-do list at the beginning of the day, but at the end of the day, what you want to be writing is your ta-da list, the stuff that you've done. So I don't care how small it is, celebrate your small successes, celebrate your achievements, really ramp up that positive self-talk. And if you don't know what I mean, go back and look at some of the videos on affirmations. And that is the way to create a real sense of grounding. And then you can go to the industry wanting the award but not needing it, knowing that you are good. You yourself will know when you have reached a level of excellence. Cool. That's my little Monday mini masterclass, mini mindset masterclass. I'm going to get really good at saying that. Mini mindset masterclass. I mean, not now, but soon. Soon, on a Monday, coming soon. So that's what we talked about today. Like I said, if there's a topic coming up that you want answered, and it's generic, as in it would suit lots of other people as well, it's not really specific about you or your headshots, I'm happy to answer it. info@charlottethornton.com. And I will pick a topic and discuss it next week. So whatever you're worrying about, if it's something that I can capture in 10 minutes, at least to give you a flavour, a little taste, then absolutely shout out. And yeah, that's me. I'm Charlotte Thornton, actor, mentor, author of Talent Isn't Enough. Wishing you a happy Monday. Take care. Bye.